Good morning, baseball fans, or well, I guess for some of you, good afternoon. Hopefully, Carson, everybody's not too bleary-eyed thanks to this stupid daylight savings thing. Yay, we all lost an hour of sleep. Hooray.
Oh,
Boo. Yeah. Also, apologies for us being on a little later than usual. I have been on the IL the last few days with a stomach bug. Oh, by the way, if you are unfortunate enough to catch this thing going around, I'm so sorry. I wouldn't wish that. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. But here we are. We're here. We're on. Real quick programming note. Carson, we will not be on the air next Sunday because you, my friend, are jetting off to Sin City.
yes. Before the schedule change kind of affected things. Some plans were put into motion for myself and some members of our family. We're going to be out in the future home of the Oakland Athletics. So excited to get out there for a few days. Obviously, we'll miss doing the show for that week, but we'll obviously be posting some different stuff on our Twitter/X page, our Zitter page, if you will, as well as we've got the blog Two Strike Count that AJ has been doing a great job with too. So it will not be as if you won't hear from us at all.
No. You're not getting rid of us that easy. Yeah. Oh, I'm glad you mentioned Two Strike Count. Apologies everybody for there not being a Two Strike Count post on Friday. Again, because I was indisposed, as it were. But good news, I'm better now. I woke up this morning and I went, hey, I don't feel like I'm dying anymore. So that's something. But yeah, no, seriously, guys, be careful, because whatever this thing is, it's going around. I was telling Carson before we came on that I saw a post the other day. I think it was on X Twitter. I think it might have been from the CDC. That this is a legit thing. It's going around. So be careful. Take care of yourselves. And also, I probably shouldn't have to say this, but if you're not feeling good, like if you're sick, stay home. Don't go to work sick. If your kids are sick, keep them home too, because we all know they're little disease carriers in their own right. Seriously though, if you're sick, stay home. Don't go to work. Don't go out. Don't hang out with your friends, because if you do, that's how these things spread. So, yeah. Anyways, just a little bit of free advice. A little bit of free advice there. So, yeah. Anyways, I Carson, I feel like I shouldn't even have to say that, but I feel like common sense isn't so common anymore.
Yeah, and on the topic of advice that costs free 99, wash your hands.
Free 99. I love it. Sorry, what did you say?
Wash your hands.
Yeah, wash your hands. Yeah. Wash your hands, seriously. Yeah, that definitely should not need to be said, but here we are. Yeah, so we're live on YouTube and Twitter, X Twitter and Twitch. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, follow us at 8th Inning Pod, and for more, go to 8thinningpod.com. And you can also help support the show at 8thinningpod.com/donate, or by using the QR code down there in the corner. Yes, you're not hallucinating. We did switch our overlay because we noticed that the show logo was getting blocked out by our little bubble things on the screen there. And also, if you're watching on YouTube, hop into the chat. Producer Tasha's in the chat, who just sent me a very nice welcome back message in the chat there. So yeah, she's hanging out there in the chat. You guys can chat with her and with us. but yeah, let's dive right into this. What was I? Oh yeah, two strike count. There will be a post Monday. Don't worry. Tomorrow. For most of you. Yeah, there will be a post Monday, so don't worry about that. Carson was just kind of talking about sort of filling in the gap for us. So we've been talking to you guys. We've been asking you guys, hey, how do you want to kind of how do you kind of want us to fill the gap um, left by the our schedule change. So we did a poll on X Twitter a while ago, and then we just recently did a poll on our website to get more feedback from you guys. And we asked you guys which you would be more interested in to fill that gap. The choices were a weekly MLB roundup video, a baseball history podcast video series, both or neither. And Carson, I don't think we've ever had a three-way tie in a poll, but we've got one between both the weekly MLB roundup video and the baseball history podcast video series, all getting 33% of the vote. And also, who was the one knucklehead who voted neither? Who are you? I want to know.
Yeah, thanks for the help in trying to make this decision, guys. You couldn't come to a decision yourselves while we're trying to come to a decision. But
No, I actually think this is a good thing. Like, I think this shows that, we know you guys are the best fans on the planet, but this is like, I like this.
yeah, I mean, no disagreement here. Cool that you guys are. It's almost kind of cool that you're in a dead heat as far as we legit have no idea what we would want to see, and that's kind of cool in a way.
Yeah, it really is. But seriously, who's the knucklehead who voted neither?
AJ just wants to talk to you. That's all.
Yeah, I have a few choice words for whoever you are. No, seriously though, like, if you voted neither, why do you even like why do you even watch, listen, whatever? Like, or are you just trolling? Somebody's got to just be trolling us.
Probably we are in the age of the troll.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, we are. Um, so yeah, I guess this is a good problem to have. Um, so yeah, we've been talking about this. We've been trying to figure out what's going on. Um, so I don't know, man. I'll be honest. I'll be honest with all of you. I was leaning towards the baseball history podcast video series for sort of purely selfish reasons, because I've always wanted to do a baseball history documentary type thing. But I got to be honest, I'm leaning towards both.
Yeah, it would certainly be a great way to kind of come back and get some new content going, keep the creative juices flowing.
Well, and yeah, producer Josh just says troll alert. Yeah. What was it? Oh, yeah. Well, and here's why I'm leaning both. Well, one, putting together a baseball history podcast, video, whatever documentary series is not going to be like, that's going to be a lot of work. Having some of I'm movie documentary buff, screenwriter, and having worked on documentaries. Okay, it's been a long time, but having worked on an actual documentary years ago, yeah, that's a lot of freaking work. So here's my thinking. The weekly MLB roundup video, which admittedly would still be, that's still a fair amount of work put into that, but a lot easier to turn that out weekly than to try to churn out a weekly episode of a baseball history thing.
Yeah, that is true.
So my thinking is the weekly MLB roundup video, and then maybe every couple of weeks, or the roundup video every week, and then sort of a sort of spread out schedule for a baseball history thing.
Yeah, I like it. And obviously we're gonna have time for us to kind of talk about how the schedule of that and
Yes.
everything would work. But
Yeah.
we
We need to
will
figure out
obviously,
logistics.
of course, yes, and we will
Yeah.
obviously let all of you guys know when to kind of start expecting that. We will build a lot of hype for it. So don't you worry about that.
Yeah. We need to figure out logistics. We need to figure out timing, that sort of thing. But yeah, don't worry. We will definitely keep you guys posted. And also, yeah, I mean, thanks again, guys, for letting us know, for weighing in on this. We can always count on you guys to weigh in on stuff like this and let us know what you think. So yeah, stay tuned to our X Twitter feed, our website at Eighth Inning Pod, and all that good stuff. For more details on that as we figure that out. All right, to baseball, because that's why you guys are tuned in. After all, right. Oh, one other thing before we go any further, Carson, I want to say that I would have given anything to have you riding shotgun the other day when I talked to Dave Sims. Because I mean, well, obvious reasons. And two, I want to give the biggest of shout outs and the biggest of thank you to the man, the myth, the legend himself, Dave Sims, for taking about a half hour out of his insanely busy schedule to sit down and chat with me about baseball. If you guys missed it, um, if you guys happen to miss it, don't worry. It's on our YouTube. You can go back and watch it. Yeah, it's on our YouTube. You can watch it on Twitch, and you can also we uploaded it as audio to all our podcast platforms. And man, Carson, you and I were kind of talking about this before we came on, but sometimes they say, don't meet your idols, don't meet your heroes, you'll be disappointed. Zero disappointment. Dave Sims is I mean, there's a reason he's the legend he is. He is quite a character.
Yeah, absolutely. And might I just take a moment here to give my co-host some praise. You did a heck of a job. That was I was so happy I got to listen to it on my drive home from work the other day, and
Nice.
could just tell that you were having a blast, that Dave was having a blast, and obviously want to echo your sentiments. Can't thank Dave enough for taking some time out of his crazy busy schedule, because the man seemingly does everything possible under the sun, to take a little time out and join the show.
Yeah. Yeah, I did my best. Considering that was about the time I started feeling really crappy. But there was no way in hell I was gonna postpone or reschedule on him, because honestly, if we had, we probably wouldn't have gotten him. So I was like, no,
It was the Michael Jordan flu game.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's actually not far off. Um, yeah, I was like, nope, I can do this. It's only a half hour. Um, so yeah, but it was so much fun. So do yourself a favor, give that a listen. Again, that's available on all our podcast platforms and our YouTube and our Twitch. Yeah, he's quite the character. He's pretty much exactly what I expected. He has a no BS, no messing around, right down to business kind of dude, which I respect the hell out of, because Carson, let's be honest, there is not nearly enough of that, just in the world in general, but especially not in this field, in the sports media field.
Very true, very true. And obviously, I'm sure a lot of that has to do with the experience he has, and again, how crazy busy he is literally all the time. So,
Yeah,
but again, yeah, just can't thank him enough for taking the time coming on with us.
yeah.
And
So
shout out to producer Tasha too for putting that together.
yeah, uh she swung that. Yeah, that was. I mean, I suggested it, and I was the one that was like, hey, maybe we could do this, but she's the one that also made it happen. So yes, she is the best producer in the history of people producing things. But yeah, Dave is quite the character. So you guys do yourself a favor and give that a watch/listen. We talked about pretty much everything. We talked about his career, which the dude's had an amazing career. We've talked about his career, his favorite calls, his favorite moments. And we even managed to get a trademark Dave Sims "Hey Now" at the end. So yeah, that was pretty cool. But yeah, no, seriously, the biggest thank you to Dave for doing that for us. Yeah. Seriously, why are you guys not in the chat? Like, I don't know. But anyways, all right, to more baseball. To baseball that's going on now. Joey Votto. So Carson, last episode we talked about I think we had a buy or sell whether Joey Votto would be signed, and lo and behold, Joey Votto has signed a minor league deal, even better with his hometown Blue Jays. Now, little caveat, little catcher, it is a minor league deal. He is a non-roster invitee to spring training, which means there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee he'll make the major league team, but man, I'm just so happy for Joey Votto.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, we've got to kind of temper our expectations a little bit.
Right.
It is a minor league deal. It's a non-roster invitee deal. So, like you said, certainly no guarantee, but a really, really cool story that he gets to go back home to Canada. And would it be certainly weird to see him put on a Blue Jays uniform? Absolutely. But it's a good chance for him to hopefully go out and join a team that has a lot of good talent. And AJ, I don't know about you, but aside from maybe Mike Trout, Joey Votto is the player in this league that I would want to see win a World Series most.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. Sure, I'd agree with that 100%. Yeah, I mean, yes. Would it be weird? Yeah, it would be a little weird seeing Joey Votto in a uniform other than the Cincinnati Reds. But I mean, you're lost, Reds. Like you're the guys. You're the ones who cut this. Who who basically cut him loose. Like, yeah. Yes, we do need to temper our expectations. Because again, it is a non-roster invitee. There's no guarantee that he'll break camp with the major league club. But I mean, come on, like, the Blue Jays are. I don't know where I would put the odds. I don't know where I would put the odds, Carson, that Joey Votto breaks camp with the major league club. I don't know if I don't know, like, but the Blue Jays, him making the major league roster, it's not a slam dunk by any stretch of the imagination, but I kind of feel like the Blue Jays would be crazy to not have him on the major league roster.
Yeah, I mean, if his playing days are certainly, we know, winding down, and
Right.
maybe he'd probably be more of, I think, a DH at this point in his career than playing out in
Sure.
the field. But at the end of the day, too, really good veteran presence in any clubhouse, a guy who's clearly passionate about the game, loves the fans.
Yep.
We were kind of talking about this off air, a guy who I think is destined to have a media career after his baseball days are done. So just a very personable guy. Seems like nobody has ever really had a bad word to say about him. So
Nope.
a really good presence in the locker room, and still can provide a good bat, I think, at this point in his career.
Sure. I think he's a perfect fit at D. I mean, he's obviously not going to play. I mean, he is a first baseman by trade, but the Blue Jays have this guy named Guerrero, who I think is a fairly decent first baseman. Is that Guerrero? Yeah. No, I mean, seriously, though, you have Vlad Guerrero Jr. at first base. Joey Votto is not going to take Vlad Guerrero's job at first base by any stretch of the imagination. but I like it. A DH, maybe an occasional turn at first base when Vladdy needs a day off. I think it makes all the sense in the world. And come on, let's be honest. We know Joey Votto. Sure, he hasn't been signed. Nobody signed him to this point. But Carson, we know Joey Votto has been working out this whole time.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. He's been keeping himself in playing shape, no doubt about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Jays would be nuts. Again, it's no guarantee, but I mean, if you get Joey Votto for him, there haven't been any. I haven't seen any details on what the deal was. I mean, I can't imagine it can be for very much. I mean, this is I don't know. To me, this is a win-win. They probably got Joey Votto at a pretty reasonable price. So yeah, I mean, that Blue Jays team could always use another. The Blue Jays team could always use another bat. We mentioned the veteran presence, and that kind of veteran presence. I mean, one, you can't put a price tag on it, and two, we've seen it. We've seen this. We've seen this movie a few times before, Carson. That veteran presence in a clubhouse cannot be overstated.
Yeah, absolutely not. We've talked about it ad nauseum, seemingly with a lot of deals that have happened. Like, Brandon Crawford was just the latest example before Joey Votto in the
Tommy
Cardinals
Pham,
clubhouse. So
Tommy Pham last year with the D-backs.
Yep, it makes a huge difference, especially come playoff time. You want guys who have kind of been there before, who have kind of seen it before, and it can make all the difference.
And also, as the Blue Jays, what have you got to? I mean, as the Blue Jays, what have you got to lose? You put Joey Votto you put Joey Votto on the major league roster, and like, what have you got to lose at this point? I mean, we talked about it, I think, a couple episodes ago, that this year is pretty much put up or shut up time for the Blue Jays, because they've made the playoffs the last 2 years, but they've also lost in the first round the last 2 years. This is put up or shut up time for the Blue Jays. What have you got to lose by putting Joey Votto in the major league roster?
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, John Schneider, Blue Jays manager John Schneider, his seat has to be one of the hottest seats for a manager in all of baseball, because I mean, this is the year. Like, you've got to, I'm not saying you got to go out and win the World Series, although that would certainly cool off his seat more than a little bit, but Carson, the Blue Jays have to do more than just make the playoffs this year.
Yep, 100% agree.
Although I'm not really sure how you're going to do that without an everyday third baseman. I'm sorry. That still just baffles me.
Yep.
I really don't get the thinking there. You could have brought Matt Chapman back, considering the deal that he got with the Giants. Like, I mean, the Blue Jays could have just as easily done that deal, but I don't know. Maybe the Blue Jays have an ace up their sleeve. Maybe, I don't know, but I don't know how you're gonna do this without an everyday third baseman, but we'll see. But no. All that aside, couldn't be happier for Joey Votto, stand-up guy, Carson, like you said. I don't say this often, but yeah, I think you're right. I don't think I've ever seen anything bad said or written about Joey Votto ever.
Yeah, I don't think so either, which, again, like we've talked about, says a lot about the guy,
rare.
especially in today's baseball climate, where it's pretty easy to get something bad written about yourself or to put your foot in your mouth. Anthony Rendon.
Ugh. Yeah. No, yeah, that is extremely rare. Yeah, I mean, not just in baseball, but seems like in the sports media in general. So, anyways, so yeah, crazy happy for Joey Votto. Congrats to him. And Blue Jays, if anyone in a Blue Jays a leadership role with the Blue Jays happens to be listening to this, put this man on your major league roster. Let him break camp with the big league club. I promise you won't regret it. And if by some off weird chance it doesn't work out, it's a what's that? What's that? Low risk, high reward. Is that what they call it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. So moving on to one of Joey Votto's former teammates. With this, well, actually, I don't know if these guys actually. Yeah, they must have played together last year. One of Joey Votto's former teammates with the Cincinnati Reds. No, is it? I'm gonna butcher the crap out of this. Is it Noelvi? Noelvi?
I believe it's Noelvi, but
is it Noelvi? Yeah, him. Noelvi Marte. Yeah, that guy. The Reds rookie infielder played 35 games for the Reds last year. Had a stat line of a 316 batting average, 366 on base percentage, and a 456 OPS. Got himself in a little trouble. He was projected to be the starting third baseman for the Reds this year. But instead, Carson, he's going to sit the first 80 games of the season, the first half of the season, effectively, after testing positive for a banned substance. And when I heard about this, I just don't get it. Like, this story genuinely baffles me. Here's this rookie who had, in 30 games last year, 35 games, had this ridiculous stat line. You're going to be the starting third baseman for one of the most exciting and talented teams in baseball, and now you're sitting for the first 80 games.
Yeah, absolutely brutal. And one of the other things too that you got to think about, Noelvi Marte, which it is Noelvi. I did a little real-time research.
Okay.
According to Baseball Reference, it is pronounced Noelvi.
Noelvi. Okay.
But yeah, PED policy, and he was one of the top prospects in baseball for quite some time too. And if I remember right, AJ, I believe he was involved in a certain trade with your Seattle Mariners that brought Luis Castillo over to Seattle, and he was
the player that the Reds got or one of the players, I guess, that the Reds got in exchange for Castillo. Yep.
Yeah, so obviously really, really hard to see, but AJ, for me, the thing that just kind of stood out to me about this is just the fact that he's so young still.
Yeah.
And already he's getting suspended for PEDs. I mean, he's only 22 years old, and already you're getting PEDs, and that's for me
not a good sign.
And forgive me if I come off as sounding like the old man who yells at a cloud, but that just doesn't, I don't know, something about that just doesn't really sit right with me.
No, I mean, this is something, generally speaking, the PED thing is something you see from, let's be honest, older, more experienced players who are struggling to stay healthy, and they think, oh, I'm gonna take this stuff to keep me going, or, in some cases, I'm gonna take this stuff and inflate my body to the size of a Mack truck. Barry Bonds, Mark McGuire, Canseco, all the Roger Clemens towards the end of his career. A lot of times it's an older player using this stuff to keep themselves going, or give themselves an edge over younger players. I am struggling to remember a case, Carson, where we saw something like this. We saw something that's happened with a player this young.
Yeah, I don't recall anything
No.
on anybody this young either, but I don't know. It's and I'm sure that this is probably something that's a one-off, but it
I
is
would hope so.
I would hope so too. But I don't know, just the fact that he's so young is just a little bit concerning for me.
Yeah, dude. What do you need PEDs at 22 for? You're 20 freaking 2. Carson, Carson, you're what, 25?
25.
Yeah, this would be like Carson. I mean, he's even younger than you. This would be like, yeah, basically somebody your age going, "Oh, yeah, geez, I'm really broken down. My body's, I need an edge. I need something to keep me going." 22. Come on, man. Like, you're 22. You're in prime shape. Like, uh, I yeah. I mean, like you said, hopefully it's a one-off. Hopefully it's a lesson learned. But man, like 22, your career hasn't even started yet, and here you go. Like, he's already put a stain on his career.
Yeah, there are people in the baseball world who are not going to take too kindly to this. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, I mean, I really just don't get this. I mean, one, you've already put a stain on your career. Um, Two, he's put the Reds in a hell of a position. Which, oh, by the way, I want to shout out to the Reds and give them credit, because the Reds immediately came out and were like, yeah, we support this. As in, like, they support baseball's decision. So good on the Reds for, because let's be honest, we've seen some teams in the past with guys, and the teams have kind of, um the teams have had differing opinions, to say the least. But also, like, dude, you put your teammates and your team in a bad spot. Like, you were going to be the starting third baseman. Although at the time, I mean, this sort of makes the Heimer Candelario signing look, because at the time that was kind of you know when
He
the
was meant
Reds,
to be more of a depth guy.
right. But at the time, it was kind of like, oh, yeah, that's nice. They signed Heimer Candelario. Well, guess what, Heimer Candelario? You are now the starting third baseman at the Cincinnati Reds. So that just, you know, I yeah, I'm pretty upset about this. This is just such a selfish thing to do. Like, you've put your teammates, you've put your team and your teammates in a bad position. Um, this, this affects. This doesn't just affect Marte. This affects the whole Cincinnati Reds team. Um, yeah, this is pretty much, like, as far as athletes go, this is pretty much the most selfish thing you could do.
Mm, no, not disagreeing here.
Yeah, I I don't know. I don't. I was actually just looking to see what this bold what this stuff was. Boldenone. Naturally occurring anabolic. Yeah, it's a steroid. Yeah, he was. We had the thing with Fernando Tatis Jr. A couple years ago, and that was one of those, like, oh, hey, I took this stuff, but I didn't realize, that it contained this stuff that I'm not supposed to take. This stuff is straight up. This stuff is straight up steroids. This is straight up juice. Like, so this wasn't even a. This wasn't even a. Oops, I took this supplement and didn't know it had this thing in it, which makes it even worse, if you ask me.
Yeah, and even then with Fernando Tatis, there was still plenty of controversy surrounding that. So
There was, yeah, yeah, and I mean, yeah, this is a stain you can't wash off. Um, and as I'm, as sort of sad and as sort of sad as it is, to see a young player like this already putting a stain on their career. And as much as it sucks for his teammates, and because now, like, in the other thing, and I don't think these guys think about, well, clearly they don't think about their teammates when they do this stuff, but I don't think these guys think about this, Carson. Now for the entire season, the Reds, the players, the coaches, the managers, everyone is going to have to, everyone is going to be fielding questions and dealing with this drama.
Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of fallout that's about to happen here.
Yeah. Like, come on, man. I really just don't get it. Reds fans, I'm sorry. Like, I feel for you. I feel for Reds fans because your team, I mean, Carson, the Reds had an unbelievable season last year. They damn near stuck into the playoffs. There was the excitement of Ellie De La Cruz, and there were pretty high hopes coming into this year, and now they've got this cloud hanging over them. I mean, I guess the best we can hope for is that the Reds are able to kind of deal with this thing and not let it hang over their season. But I mean, you got to think, you kind of just have to wonder how is this going to affect this Reds team, especially this Reds team being so young.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see if we get more of kind of what happened with Fernando Tatis, where guys were kind of speaking out on it, how this could potentially affect the clubhouse. But
Yeah,
I don't know. Something tells me that this one won't be nearly as controversial as Tatis, and it'll just be something where, okay, it happened. It sucks, but Heimer Candelario, come on down. You're the next contestant on the starting lineup. And the Reds will just have to try and keep moving forward.
Jeez. It's funny. If only the Cincinnati Reds had a veteran clubhouse presence who could help them deal with a situation like this. Who do we know that fits that description?
Can you say Joey Votto?
I bet the Reds feel really dumb right now after all this. Like, man, geez, if only we kept Joey around. Yeah, that's still, I'm not bitter that the Reds cut Joey Votto loose. No, not at all. Not whatsoever. Yeah, so that's just a mess, and that's just, man, as sure, we do the show and we do all this content and everything, but I mean, at the end of the day, we're baseball fans, and as a baseball fan, you just hate to see this kind of stuff.
Yeah, 100%, absolutely.
Anything to do with anything that puts any kind of stain on the game of baseball, just and I know my illustrious co-host is too young to remember. Well, actually, not just too young to remember. Wait, Carson, you're 25, so you were born in
1999.
Okay, so you were born the year after the magical summer of 1998. Which, I mean, you obviously know about it. Clearly.
Shout out to the 30 for 30 documentary on it, by the way, because that was phenomenal.
That was that was one of the better ones. But this just, anytime anything like this comes up, it gives me flashbacks. For those of you of a certain age who remember the summer of 98, and the home run race between Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa, and you had, all these players just, hitting moonshot home runs. It just kind of gives me flashbacks, because even while that was going on, we all kind of knew, like, we didn't know, but in the back of our minds, we were thinking, geez, these guys got awful big all of a sudden. They went from normal sized human beings to the size of Mack trucks, but the summer of 90, that home run chase in the summer of 98 basically saved baseball after the strike in 94. But this just gives me flashbacks. And I know MLB doesn't have a steroid problem anymore. But this just has to leave a bad taste in your mouth. As a baseball fan of any age. So, anyways, yeah, the less said about that, the better, I guess. And yeah, so, yeah, so pitchers, and Carson, you and I, we talked about this seemingly every episode last year. We talked about all these injuries to pitchers, and we wondered, is it the pitch clock? Is it because they have to, they're having less time between batters to throw? And now this story came out the other day. Dr. Keith Meister, Meister. I'm not having a good time with names today. He's the head team physician for the Texas Rangers. Shed a little light on this thing. And he basically came out and said that his theory is that we've seen this epidemic basically of injuries to pitchers is because, well, I'll just read the quote from him. These front offices, unfortunately, are living more in the moment than taking a longer, broader term view. There is a way to manage this. What if a guy doesn't have a whip, walks and hits per inning pitched of 0.8? What if he has a whip of 1.1, but he's able to play 162 games? So basically what Dr. Meister is getting at is teams are putting so much emphasis on velocity and stuff that this is a mind-blowing number. Injury list placements for pitchers in 2010, 241 pitchers. Not 241 pitchers, I'm sorry. There were 241 incidents of pitchers being placed on the injured list in 2010. In 2021, there were 552 injury list placements for pitchers. That's mind-blowing.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Ooh, lot to unpack there, obviously, but
Yeah.
It's, especially coming from the Rangers team physician, I'm not necessarily taking this with a grain of salt, because he had quite a few different injuries to pitchers that he had to deal with this season. Jacob deGrom, anybody?
Max Scherzer,
yep.
I
He
mean,
had his fair share.
I mean, just look at the pitchers that are look at the number, look at the names of pitchers who aren't even going to be able to start, the season, who are going to start the season on IL. I mean, one, deGrom and Scherzer are the Rangers. My own Red Sox, Lucas Giolito probably out, probably looking at Tommy John surgery. Justin Verlander not going to be ready for the Astros. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And according to Dr. Meister, it's all because, or the leading cause, is the advent of the sweeper and power changeup, which have become, pretty common pitches in players' arsenals. And I mean, yeah, man, I'm not taking this with a grain of salt at all. I'm not taking this with any salt. I mean, this dude is one of baseball's leading orthopedic surgeons. And he's basically, first, I want to give all the props to Dr. Meister for speaking out on this. Because I mean, I'm not necessarily surprised. I think it was only, and I could be way off here. It happens. But I think it was only a matter of time until somebody spoke out on this. But I gotta be honest, I'm pretty surprised that not only is it a team doctor that spoke out on this, but spoke out publicly, not anonymously.
Yeah, it certainly takes a lot of guts to do that. That's for sure.
I mean, that's pretty.
Oh, AJ?
Carson, did we lose you?
Oh, no, I'm still here. I thought we lost
Hello?
you for a minute. Or did we lose me? Hello?
Hang on, everybody.
Hello? All right, I think I'm back.
Yep.
Or some of us is back.
Yep. I'm here.
I am
Hello?
here as well.
Oh,
Hello.
all right.
All right, everybody. Well, this was the part of the show where AJ's internet decides to pull a Cincinnati Reds and lose all brain cells.
um, yeah, every time without fail. Yeah. Thank you, Comcast. Yeah, my internet likes to hiccup. Oddly enough, and thankfully, knock on wood, my internet did not hiccup when I was talking with Dave Sims the other day. So, but yeah, my internet likes to hiccup. So Carson, you're there also? Yeah.
I am indeed here.
Okay, good. Yeah. So, anyways, where we? Oh, yeah, talking about Dr. Meester, the Rangers head physician, basically being like, "Hey, look, everybody, this is why so many pitchers, or this is the one of the reasons so many pitchers are going on the IL." Yeah. So 552 injury list placements for pitchers in 2021 has decreased slightly in each of the past 2 seasons, according to Major League Baseball. But the days pitchers spent on the IL more than doubled over that span. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's quite a lot, which is very concerning.
Yeah. Yeah, so Meister said he repaired Meister said he repaired approximately 230 elbow ligaments last year and is way ahead of that pace this year. Shohei Ohtani, who just came back from shoulder surgery, threw more sweepers than anyone in baseball from 2021 to 2023 before undergoing his second major elbow procedure. And okay, I mean, just disclaimer, Carson, in the interest of fairness, pitchers who don't throw sweepers or power changeups are still getting hurt too.
Yes, it's not as if these pitches exclusively are the reasons for everybody getting hurt by any means.
No, but the majority of pitchers getting hurt are pitchers that throw the sweeper and the power changeup. Of course, we mentioned the pitchers. Sort of mentioned the pitchers earlier, the ones who are dealing with. I mean, the Red Sox, Lucas Giolito, the Astros, Justin Verlander, Mets, Kodai Senga, Kevin Gausman of the Blue Jays, Alek Manoah. Yeah, I mean, there's quite a list. I mean, I don't know, man, at the risk of this might be grossly oversimplifying this, but if I'm a major league, a coach or a manager or executive or anybody involved with running the team reading this, I'm going, hey, maybe we should dial it back on the sweepers and power changeups.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if and dial it back is one option, but maybe there's something in the maybe there's something in the mechanics that can be tweaked where you can still throw the effective pitch, but risk or have less of an injury risk when you throw those pitches. And again, could it just be something where, those, because far be it for me to try and say that I can get into the mindset of a pitcher, but maybe those are just pitches that with a pitch clock, it's hard to get the right mechanics and the right hold on the ball ready. Because, I feel like as a pitcher, your finger moves by an inch and that pitch is either going somewhere you don't want it to go, or you could do something serious to your arm. So maybe it's just something where because of the speed of the pitch clock, they feel like they have to hurry when getting those mechanics ready, and that can kind of lead to those errors. So maybe it's just a thing of, if you're going to throw that pitch, great, but just calm down, make sure that you get your mechanics right, get exactly what you need to do before you deliver the pitch.
Yeah. And obviously, I mean, and we've talked about the pitch clock. I mean, the pitch clock is we're both in agreement that it was we're both in favor of the pitch clock. We both in agreement that it was something needed to be done to increase the pace of play and cut down on dead time. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the fact that Dave Sims is on board with the pitch clock is enough for me. But yeah, I mean, along with all the good changes, pressure than they were before, because they know, I mean, and they're not, they can see the pitch clock. It's right in front of them. They know they've got to get that pitch off, in that time. Yeah. So I don't know, maybe another solution. I mean, in addition to what you mentioned, maybe another solution is Major League Baseball needs to look at this and go, okay, maybe we need.
Looks like we lost AJ again, but just to kind of finish his thoughts, kind of talking again, if you're just tuning in, talking about the Rangers team doctor, and looking potentially at some different pitches in the pitch clock. Maybe it's just something where maybe an extension on the pitch clock is needed, but I guess we'll have to wait and see what Major League Baseball does in terms of that too.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. If I'm Major League Baseball and I'm reading this, I'm going, yeah, these needs to change. I mean, they need to do something about this, because this isn't, I mean, players getting hurt in general is never good. It's not good for anybody. It's not good for the players, obviously. It's not good for the pit. It's not good for the teams. It's not good for the fans. It's not good for baseball. Doing something about this is in the best interest of everybody.
Yeah, agreed, 100%.
And again, I have to give Dr. Meister the, like the highest of fives for pointing this out, for voicing this. Yeah, this is quite the story. So yeah, we've gone through just a slice of this article. It's on The Athletic if you guys want to read it. Written by the great Ken Rosenthal. Yeah, I would highly recommend you guys checking this out, because it's a really good read. I did read the whole thing. I mean, we're not going to go through this whole thing. This is a lot, but basically Dr. Meister goes on to talk about, the impact of pitchers' grip when they're throwing these pitches and the impact it has on their ligaments and stuff. And yeah, it's a lot. A lot of really good info. I would 10 out of 10 recommend you guys check that out. All right. Let's play some buy or sell. So news broke yesterday, I think, that the plan for the LA Dodgers is to have Gavin Lux start at second base and Mookie Betts move to shortstop, which is an interesting move to say the least. But Carson, buy or sell Mookie as the Dodgers starting shortstop?
Yeah. What? What?
Yeah.
I don't.
Carson. Okay, everybody, we are having some connectivity issues today, clearly. Carson, are you there? Can you hear me?
Okay, I think I'm back.
Can you hear me?
I can indeed.
Okay.
My laptop apparently decided to, even though it was plugged in, apparently it wasn't charging and then died. So,
That's always fun.
A lot like apparently how the Dodgers are viewing Mookie Betts' career with this move.
Oof.
But yeah, so I hate this. I don't get it. He has not played shortstop full time since he was a high schooler. Like what are we doing here? Well, why? I don't get it. I don't like it. Sell.
Yeah, I'm selling the crap out of this. I mean, one, yeah, so I actually just looked it up because I was curious. Mookie Betts played 16 games at shortstop with the Dodgers last season. Before that, the last time he played shortstop, he played 13 games at shortstop in 2012 with the Red Sox, Class A affiliate. Yeah, what are the Dodgers thinking? Like, I really don't. I mean, they've made some. I don't know, man. The Dodgers have made some. The Dodgers have made some baffling moves lately, and I get it. You've got Teoscar Hernandez now, like, and you've got Jason Hayward, but is there a problem with? I mean, Mookie Betts is an outfielder. Like, he's a right fielder. That's his natural position. And I get, I don't know. I guess the plan is for Teoscar Hernandez to play right field.
I guess. And I mean, again, this is not trying to come off as disrespectful to Mookie. I like Mookie.
No,
AJ
not at
likes
all.
Mookie. Like we love Mookie. But if you are a team like the Dodgers who have all these expectations on you, who are stacked with talent, I get it. You gotta find places for this talent to go, but this just does not seem like the right move. And it seems like the Dodgers are saying, we'll try it, see how it goes. You can't say that when you're a team with championship aspirations, because if this experiment goes haywire, which if I'm going into my crystal ball, I expect it will very quickly, then what are you going to do? You can't not have a full-time shortstop who has played the position on a regular basis. You can't.
Yeah, and also, yeah, I mean, not just let's be fair, not just championship expectations or aspirations. This year for the Dodgers with all the money they spent and going out and getting Shohei Ohtani and Teoscar Hernandez and Yoshinobu Yamamoto. This year is World Series or bust for this team. Yeah, this is not the time to be messing around with putting players at positions that they're not comfortable playing. I mean, I guess on the flip side, if anyone can make this work, it's Mookie Betts. But I mean, putting him at second base was a dumb enough move. But shortstop,
Shortstop.
shortstop.
We're talking about shortstop.
Talking about shortstops. I I mean, hey, Dodgers, this is a problem of your own creation. You're the ones that had to go out and spend all this freaking money and put all these, ridiculously talented players on one team. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when you go full, 2001 Yankees and you go out and you sign all these big name players. You create a logjam, and now you don't have places for all these guys to play. This is just, you know what? I feel bad for Mookie Betts because he's being put in a basically impossible situation. But I don't feel bad for the Dodgers at all. Not one bit. Zero sympathy for the Dodgers. They created
the person who gets screwed over by this is Mookie.
Mookie Betts. 100%. Yeah, exactly. He's the only one I feel bad for. I mean, yeah, you know what? I don't feel bad for Dodgers fans. Sorry. I just don't. You guys are the ones who kept, Dodgers fans are the one, we got Ohtani, we got Yamamoto, World Series this year. Yeah. No, I don't. This is not going to go well. Carson, my biggest concern, I just hope Mookie Betts doesn't hurt himself playing shortstop.
You and me both.
Seriously. That's my biggest concern, is that Mookie Betts hurts himself. And I really hope I'm wrong about that.
Yeah, so do I.
But why not, I mean, again, far be it from me to question the decisions of a major league, coaching staff, but what exactly is the problem with putting, okay, you want Gavin Lux at second base, fine, whatever, okay, cool. But what's the problem with this is the problem you run into, but what's wrong with putting Mookie Betts back in right field and having Teoscar Hernandez, well, I was going to say having Teoscar Hernandez a designated hitter, but that's the spot taken by Shohei Ohtani.
Right.
I don't get it. Makes no sense. No sense whatsoever. Well, best of luck, Dodgers, because that's definitely not going to blow up in your face. Narrator, it blew up in their face. Yeah, I don't get it. So the A's, the soon-to-be Vegas A's, debuted their rendering, whatever you want to call it, of their Vegas stadium. It's quite a thing. So Carson, buy or sell the A's Vegas stadium design?
As a design, I'll certainly buy it. I mean, it looks like it's going to be a gorgeous state-of-the-art design, which, you're moving to Vegas, it probably should be, but I mean, again, you guys all know how we feel about this move, and all I'm saying is, if you were going to spend all this money on a new stadium in Vegas, you could have spent it on staying in Oakland. That's all I'm going to say. And I mean, but again, I will give this thing credit. It looks phenomenal. AJ, I don't know about you, but I saw an article actually that it looks very much like the Sydney Opera House.
Yeah. It looks like, I mean, I get it. You're moving to Vegas, although part of me still doesn't think this move is going to actually happen. I still think I know that the owners signed off on it and everything, but something tells me that this thing's going to fall apart. But that aside, that's another talk for another time. That aside, yeah. I mean, I get it. You're moving to Vegas, and Vegas is Vegas, and everything there is, I mean, they've got the Sphere now, and and they've got the, what do you call it, the pyramid and stuff. And I get Vegas isn't exactly what's the word I'm looking for? The architecture in Vegas is, well, it's Vegas. But this thing looks like the Sydney Opera House and an armadillo had a baby. And it's hideous. This thing is over the top and gaudy in a town where everything is over the top and gaudy. This thing is too over the top and gaudy for this stadium. It's too Vegas for Vegas.
The Sydney Opera House and an armadillo.
Look at it. It looks like a freaking armadillo.
Oh, that was a good. Thank you for that laugh. That was a good one. I love that. I love that analogy.
Freaking hideous. God, no. I'm selling this a design. I'm selling it as a, God, what were they thinking? Like,
that's Vegas. Go big or go home.
Yeah, but this thing is too Vegas for Vegas.
But hey, I mean, Vegas already has a fake Statue of Liberty. They've already got a fake Paris. Why not add a fake Sydney Opera House on top of it?
And this thing makes, like some of the, this thing makes some of the other stuff in Vegas look like the stuff you just mentioned. This thing makes some of the other gaudy, over the top stuff they have in Vegas, makes it, this stadium, if you even want to call it that, makes that stuff look modest.
Not necessarily wrong. I don't disagree.
And also, I mean, I don't know if this is going to be the actual, well, we'll see if this thing even ever gets built, because the city of Vegas and the state of Nevada are basically like, yeah, you're not getting any money out of this for this thing. But,
smart, by the way.
Yeah, smart move. But I don't know. Like, I know this is a rendering, but is this the actual? So I'm looking at it right now. There's one of the pictures of this, one of the drawings of this thing. I don't know if this is going to be the actual location for it, but I'm sorry. This is really going to be right across the street from the MGM Grand? Like, what?
Yeah, that's certainly an interesting spot.
Right on the strip? What?
Yeah, that is a spot, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's a choice.
Not a good one, but certainly a choice.
I mean, I don't know. Okay, I've got to do some. Let's do some real-time research here. Las Vegas. So for those of you who don't know or have never been to Vegas, Vegas is pretty much the most unique in terms of its layout. Because there's the Strip, which is where everybody knows, with all the big gaudy casinos and the Sphere and all that stuff that we've been talking about. There's the Strip, and then there's Las Vegas. The Strip and Las Vegas are not, as weird as it sounds, are not the same thing.
Very separate entities.
Completely separate entities. Because basically, once you get away from the Strip, yeah, it's very, yeah. So I'm just looking to see where, let's see, where is, okay, so just for reference, well, all right. So T-Mobile Arena, where the Golden Knights play, and future home of the NBA's Las Vegas team. Okay. So T-Mobile Arena is, yeah, it's on Las Vegas Boulevard. It's sort of in that, okay. But it's at like the southern end, down near the airport. So it's not, okay. And then where is, oh, I didn't realize that T-Mobile Arena and Allegiant Stadium were that close together. Okay. Yeah, so like the Allegiant Stadium and T-Mobile Arena are sort of at the southern end of the, like, they're not out of the way, but they're a little more, they're not right smack in the middle of the, what are they thinking? Whose idea was this?
Clearly somebody's.
Oh my God. Well, that somebody is a freaking idiot. Like, this is, no, I'm selling this in every possible way. It's an ugly stadium. It's in a horrible location. I mean, what do they think? How do they expect people that, I mean, how do they expect people to be able to even get in and out of this place? With no, I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know how they expect people to even get in and out of this place. Being where it is. Yeah, this is a dumb idea on every conceivable level. The whole A's to Vegas thing is dumb on every conceivable level. So, I mean, I guess I really shouldn't be surprised that they. Oh God, I have to close. I gotta close that tab. That's hideous, man. Oh, see, somebody else called it a. Wait. Did I read that right? I think somebody else called it an armadillo. Da, 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 da. Spherical armadillo ballpark. Yeah. Well, they were a little nicer than I was. But yeah. Anyways. All right, moving on. So just recently announced that Corbin Burnes will start opening day for the Baltimore Orioles. Of course, Burnes, the big free agent acquisition of the winter for the Orioles. So, Carson, buy or sell Corbin Burnes as the Orioles opening day starter?
Yeah, shut up and take my money. Of course I buy this. Like, duh. No, we're gonna give up this massive haul to acquire Corbin Burnes, but he's not gonna start on opening day. He'll start like the third game of the season. Of course he's gonna start opening day. He's a solid pitcher. Was a fantastic pitcher in the Brewers organization. Started plenty of opening days over there, so of course I buy this.
Yeah, I have to buy this one too. Although admittedly, when I first heard this, I went, okay, Corbin Burnes, game one, and then I went and looked at the at the Orioles rotation, and I went, yeah, that's I mean, yeah, no, I'm buying this. It's I mean, like you said, they gave up all this, they gave up what they gave up to get Corbin Burnes in the first place. Yeah, I don't think you can go anywhere else for your opening day starter. But this is a welcome to Baltimore, welcome to the spotlight, Corbin Burnes. Like, here you go, man. Like, just putting him out there on the big stage right from the get-go. Which I have no doubt that Corbin Burnes can handle that. But yeah, no, I don't think you can go anywhere else if you're the Orioles. All right, and last but not least, I mean, I don't normally go in for the shenanigans with the player position rankings and everything, but something did catch my attention the other day, or today, I guess. Fox's MLB team has been doing this thing where they're releasing sorry, I did have it pulled up, everybody. 1 second.
But
Fox.
they're releasing like the player position.
Yeah, they've been so
stuff.
like every day they've been releasing rankings of position players. And yeah, yesterday's was the top second baseman for 2024. And Jose Altuve, who actually they ranked number one, they had him ahead of Marcus Semien. So buy or sell, Carson, Jose Altuve being ranked ahead of Marcus Semien?
It's definitely a interesting proposition. But at the end of the day, I buy it. I mean, now I will buy it in this retrospect. Do I think that Jose Altuve is still the best second baseman in Major League Baseball? No. Do I still think he is one of the best? Absolutely. But I mean, comparing the years and everything comparing the years they had last year, you know, the only categories that Semien, according to the article, beat Altuve in were home runs and F4. That's it. Altuve had a better overall. Oh God, what's the word I'm looking for? But you know what I mean. The batting average, the on base
Slash line.
percentage. Thank you. Yes, thank
Yeah.
you.
Mhm.
Yeah, had a better slash line overall. I mean, yes, Marcus Semien won the World Series, of course, but at the end of the day, they're clearly looking at this from more of a stats point. But yeah, I will certainly buy that Jose Semien or Jose Altuve, excuse me, is above
Jose
Marcus.
Semien.
Yeah, Jose Semien belongs above Marcus Altuve.
Right. No, I'm selling this like, yeah, no, I'm selling the hell out of this. Jose Altuve, hot take alert, everybody. Not only is Jose Altuve not the quote unquote top second baseman for 2024, Jose Altuve is not even the best second baseman in the American League West.
Whoa. What?
Marcus Semien is the best second baseman in the AL West. I'm sorry. I said it. And I know they went at this from a statistics perspective. And don't get me wrong, I'm a stats nerd. I love stats as much as anyone else, but there's an old reliable test. It's called the eye test. And when I give based on the eye test, Marcus Semien is the best. Marcus Semien should be ranked about Jose Altuve. Marcus Semien is the best second baseman in the American League West, although I think a certain Jorge Polanco is going to have something to say about that before the end of the season. But just for we might as well just go through the list. So Jose Altuve number 1, Semien number 2, Luis Arraez number 3, Ozzie Albies number 4, Xander Bogaerts number 5. Yeah, don't know how I feel about that one either, considering Xander is yeah. Number 6, Andres Jimenez of the Guardians. 7, Cubs Nico Hoerner. 8, Ketel Marte of the D-backs. 9, Gleyber Torres of the Yankees, and 10, Matt McLean of the Reds. Yeah, no, I'd put Semien 1. Altuve, I don't know, man. I think I'd put Semien 1, Arraez 2, Altuve 3, and then probably Albies. And I don't know about Bogaerts at 5. I don't know if I'd have Bogey that high. Yeah, maybe Bogey at number 5. I think Marte should be higher. Maybe Jimenez number 5, Bogey 6. I don't know, but no, I am absolutely, completely, totally, unequivocally selling Altuve being ranked above Semien. I don't buy that for a second.
Yeah, for me, my top 5 would kind of go. I would put Luis Arraez at number 1.
Nice.
You know, call it bias, call it whatever you want. But I'd put him number 1, Altuve 2, Semien 3. I'm fine with Albies at 4, and I'd probably flip Jimenez and Xander
Bogey
as well.
Yeah. Nope, not buying it. Altuve is not a bet. I'm sorry. Altuve for me is not a better second baseman than Marcus Semien.
Wow.
Yep. And y'all can save the angry emails and angry messages. Oh, you're just biased. You're just saying that because he plays for the Astros. Nope. Actually.
Guys, let us know in the chat. What's your reaction to that? I'm very curious to know the viewing audience's reaction.
And and just for the record, yes, you can at me.
Yeah, whether you're on Zitter, which by the way, AJ, there are 30 people according to my computer in here in watching live right now, which is absolutely insane. So
yeah, that's pretty cool.
So whether you're on Zitter or on YouTube or on Twitch, let us know in the chat what is your reaction to the latest AJ hot take. I'd love to see some reactions.
Normally I would say don't at me, but yeah, you guys can at me at AJ Rattel. Go for it. Bring it on. Let's go. And send your reactions to the mailbag too. And we'll share some of those because
also, producer Tasha, can we make this a poll question of who's better, Jose Altuve or Marcus Semien?
That's a good idea. Now, see, there you go. That's how you settle things like this. You settle with a good old fashioned poll question. Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, we will do that. We will have a poll on our website at 8th Inning Pod. Simple, 2 choices: the better second baseman, Jose Altuve or Marcus Semien. Yeah, we'll get that up for you guys. So yeah, but yeah, there you go. I said it, and I'm sticking with it. Yeah. Anyways, whew. Well, that's certainly a note to end the buy or sell segment on. Let's say we do some mailbag questions. Greg P leading off the mailbag. What do you guys think about Randy Arozarena only being rated as an 85 in MLB The Show 24? I think it stinks.
Yes, this is the official statement of the president of the Randy Arozarena fan club. What? My official statement is what?
What?
85? 85? Like, really?
Yeah. So
See,
disrespectful.
This is why video game ratings can never be trusted. This is why. This is exactly why.
Yep.
AJ, let me go ahead and just rattle off some of the players who are currently rated higher than Randy Arozarena.
Oh, this is going to be
Chris
good.
Sale, Kodai Senga.
Yeah.
As much as I love him, Byron Buxton. Clay Holmes, a relief pitcher. Another relief pitcher in Camilo Doval. Another relief pitcher in Felix Bautista. 2 relief pitchers are rated 87 in Ryan Helsley and Emmanuel Clase. Teoscar Hernandez. And Tony Gonsolin. Those are just some of the names that are rated higher than Randy Arozarena.
I actually don't have an issue with Buxton being rated higher than Arozarena.
It breaks my heart to say this because I love Buck, but the injury history, I feel like I'd be okay with him at like an 85 or an 84.
What's Buxton? What's he rated at?
86.
Okay, so 1 point above. A
lot of the guys I just rattled off are a lot of 86s. Chris Sale is an 86. Clay Holmes is an 86. Senga 86.
Yeah,
I don't know. Some of those when I look at Randy Arozarena, and then I look at some of those names, I just kind of look like the one for me. And apologies to you and your fellow Red Sox fans because I know Chris Sale was an important part of that team and blah blah blah. But please, someone explain to me, someone from Sony or whoever it is that makes the MLB The Show games, at me and tell me what went into the decision that Chris Sale right now is a better player than Randy Arozarena, because he's not. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I do not agree with. No, I'm not offended by that at all, because Chris Sale is, I mean, let's be honest, like Chris Sale's on the back nine of his career. He's not the Chris Sale of old, that's for sure. Yeah, I was actually just looking to see if I could find out, because I'll be honest I have no idea how these ratings are calculated or what, because it seems like, I mean, I know they're not completely arbitrary, but
Which, by the way, since we were on the topic, Jose Altuve is rated at a 93, whereas Marcus Semien is a 90.
what do they know? Yeah, I have no idea how the ratings are determined, but yeah, Randy Arozarena at only 85 is to quote the great Stephen A. Smith, asinine, asa 10, asa 11. Yeah, that's just dumb. I mean, the good news,
since we're on the topic of MLB The Show, I just thought it might be fun to go over. There are 5 players in the what Madden at least dubs the illustrious 99
club. Yeah.
So it is Shohei Ohtani,
yep,
Mookie Betts, Ronald Acuna, Aaron Judge, and Mike Trout.
Ohtani, yes. Wait, Ohtani, Judge, Trout, Acuna, and Mookie?
Yes.
Ohtani, yes. Mookie, yeah, probably. Acuna, yeah, all right. I don't know, man. Trout 99. I mean, I know he's Mike Trout, but
yeah, that's I love Mike Trout, but no.
Yeah, I mean, talk about a dude who's on the back 9 of his career.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I love Mike Trout, but there are some guys below him that I think, like,
yeah,
I think Corey Seager should have been a 99. I would put Corey Seager in the 99 club over Mike Trout personally. Oh, looks like we might have lost AJ again. So, but yeah, let's just keep on driving here with the mailbag. Becca H, is it crazy to think that Ohtani won't live up to the hype in his first season as a Dodger? This question was actually very interesting for me when I saw it, because honestly, I don't think it is. We've talked about it ad nauseum here on the show. That Shohei Ohtani is not going to be able to pitch this season. So it's purely from a hitting standpoint. And when you sign a two-way player like Shohei Ohtani, you are signing him for not only his pitching prowess, but also his ability at the plate. You lose one of those factors, it's very possible that the Dodgers might be, and Dodger fans might be kind of going over their expectations in terms of what he will be able to do in LA.
Hey everybody, I'm back again. Are we still talking about Mike Trout?
No, I moved to is it crazy to think Ohtani won't live up to the hype in his first year as a Dodger?
Yeah. Crazy to think that? No, I don't think so. I know this will probably fall on deaf ears, but I'm really hoping that Dodgers fans, I mean, I know they have high expectations for Shohei Ohtani, but I really hope they're not putting too much pressure on him.
Yeah, and that was kind of what my answer was, in that I don't think it's crazy at all, because when you sign a guy like Shohei Ohtani, you're signing him for his two-way prowess. And since he's not going to be able to pitch, you're losing one of those elements. So you're solely keeping expectations on a two-way player for only being able to play one way.
Yeah. And also, let's not forget Shohei Ohtani is coming off a major surgery over the offseason. So he I mean, he's still, at the end of the day, he's Shohei Ohtani, but he might not be. I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but there's a good chance he's not going to be the same old Shohei Ohtani right off the bat. And obviously the hope is that he will eventually get back to being the Shohei Ohtani we all know, although even that is a question mark because of now having undergone 2 surgeries. So, I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong about that. But no, I don't think it's crazy at all. No, I don't think it's, no, I don't think it's crazy at all because there's so much hype and such high expectations for him. Not just from Dodgers fans, but from the Dodgers themselves and all the baseball pundits and whatever. But at the end of the day, Carson, the Dodgers you're still gonna get Shohei Ohtani. So
Yeah, exactly. It just might take a little bit longer for him to be the Shohei Ohtani we know.
right, exactly. Julie V says, who do you think could be MLB's Cinderella team or teams this year? Nice March Madness reference there. I think last year the Cinderella team was clearly the Arizona Diamondbacks. I think we've sort of talked about some teams that might sneak into I think the Kansas City Royals have to be on that list. The Cincinnati Reds, maybe, depending on all the stuff going on there. But I would go with the Royals.
I mean, based on my World Series pick, I feel like I kind of have to say the Cincinnati Reds. Although that pick has taken a shot in the arm, so to speak, with the.
Oh no, you didn't.
Oh, pun was totally intended right there. With the announcement of Noelvi Marte's suspension, but I mean we talked about it a lot during the Noelvi Marte discussion, so I'll kind of keep it short, sweet, and to the point. But
nice.
I mean, yeah, it's still a team that has a lot of good talent. It's a team that's really done a nice job of kind of building a solid roster, a solid farm system, and I think that they have a really good shot to go all the way.
Yeah, no, they really do. The Reds are a really good team, even without Marte. Yeah, I think we kind of talked about the Royals. The Royals have made some. The Royals quietly sort of had a really good offseason. Trying to think of. Yeah, I would not be surprised at all to see the Royals go on a to get in as a wild card, and go on a run like the D-backs did last year. Wouldn't surprise me at all. I think although my Twins co-host probably doesn't want to hear this, but I think the Detroit Tigers. I would keep an eye on the Tigers.
Oh, no!
I know. I'm sorry.
I'm not ready for them to torment me again.
Yeah, they've been building for a few years there in Detroit, and yeah, if we're gonna put this in March Madness terms, and the Detroit Tigers are a 12 seed, I would go ahead and pencil them into the second round. So, I'm not saying the Tigers are going to go all the way, but they could go on the Tigers could put themselves on a run. You mentioned the Reds in the National League. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm kind of drawing a blank for other National League teams the Diamondbacks, nobody's going to be surprised if they go on another run. Who else in the National League? Yeah, I can't really think of anybody else. All right, moving on. Last but not least, Bobby C. Do you think there's a chance MLB will let teams negotiate their own uniform supplier? I think that would be amazing, but no, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I don't think it would happen either. But let me tell you, if if this does happen, Bobby, it will, and you can go ahead, write this down, do whatever you want. It will start a chain reaction throughout sports where teams will do the exact same thing. Do I think it would cause some chaos? 100%. Would I enjoy that chaos while cooking up a bag of popcorn? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, I think it'd be, like you said, I don't think it's going to happen, but I think it'd be something cool because that way too, maybe teams would have a little bit more control over the uniforms, a little bit more of a say in terms of how they want to see them done.
Yeah, I don't think that would happen. One, I don't think Major League Baseball would ever let that happen because they're determined to save face on this whole Fanatics fiasco. But two, yeah, Carson's right. This would cause absolute chaos, and you would see every team, in every major sport doing the same thing. Sort of an in-between compromise that I could maybe see happening is Major League Baseball not letting teams negotiate their own uniform deals, but giving teams and players and the Players Association more input on the uniform supplier.
Yeah, I think that'd at least be a good starting point to just have like the Players Association in conversations, have a few of the team reps be like, hey, here's how here's how we feel about these uniforms. Here's some of the feedback we've gotten.
Yep.
Can you change these a little bit?
Yeah, I don't really know why that didn't happen in the first place, but here we are. So, yeah. Anyways, yeah, that should have probably happened in the first place, but well, all right, everybody. Thanks for sending in your questions to the mailbag. Don't forget you can drop us a line at eighth-inning-pod.com/mailbag or at eighth-inning-stretch@gmail.com, and we just might read your message on an upcoming episode. And also don't forget to follow us. What am I doing? I'm not doing that yet. We're not done yet. We have one last thing to do. What am I doing? Yeah, one last thing. Not anything too crazy this time out for me. I just read a really good story about Gabriel Moreno, the catcher for the Diamondbacks. And again, it's on The Athletic. You guys can read the whole thing at your leisure, but basically talking about how Gabriel Moreno went from a trade chip essentially for the Toronto Blue Jays, got traded to the Diamondbacks along with Lord Gurriel Jr. in exchange for Dalton Varsho. Yeah, how'd that trade work out, Toronto? And basically went from a trade chip essentially to a playoff hero for the Diamondbacks. He had of course, he had the game-winning hit in Game 7 in the NLCS against the Phillies to send the Diamondbacks to the World Series. And even though the D-backs came up a little short in their championship run, Moreno played a huge part in their run. Had the eighth inning single off Greg Kimbrell that broke the tie in Game 4. The game-winning hit in Game 7 that I talked about. And just a really cool story how this 23-year-old, 23, let that sink in for a minute. This 23-year-old kid went from basically expendable for the Blue Jays. They shipped him off to Arizona for Dalton Varsho, and he went from that to a impressive stat line of 284, 339, 408, 7 homers in the regular season, 4 more in the playoffs, and was a huge piece in getting the Diamondbacks into the playoffs and beating teams like the Brewers and the Dodgers and the Phillies to get all the way to the World Series. And just a really cool story. The kind of story you love to see in sports and in baseball. And a really good, this is a really good read. And yeah, I mean, just a really cool story. To go from being traded and not having, just being what feels like a kind of a forgotten piece of the deal, um, to being a big part of Arizona's run last year, and a huge, now a huge part of that team, a key piece of that team. Um, just really cool stuff. The kind of story that makes you feel all warm and fuzzy.
Hooray for warm and fuzzy.
Yes.
Um, yes, indeed. Not too much from me, honestly, as well. But just to, I just want to give a quick little shout out again to my co-host with the most for absolutely rocking the interview with Mr. Dave Sims. And if I don't usually suggest this often, but if you haven't heard it yet, I give you permission to stop watching now and go watch that, because by far that is probably we have been very lucky to have a couple of really cool guests on, with not only Dave but of course Sangye from the
Mm-hmm.
Bhutan Baseball Association. So
Mm.
make sure, actually, if you haven't seen either one of those, go
Mm.
watch or listen or do whatever it is you want to do with both of those, because they're both stellar. And again,
Mm.
huge shout out to you, my friend, for absolutely killing that.
Knock it off. Yeah, I will say, not too shabby, considering at the time I was starting to fight off that stomach bug. Yeah, the Michael Jordan flu game, as it were. Yeah, no, obviously talking with Dave was a lot of fun. He's quite the character. He's as no BS and down to business as you'd expect for a seasoned veteran like himself. There's a reason the man's an icon. So, yeah, I would obviously recommend you guys all go check that out. And yeah, and check out our interview with Sanye also, because um that was a really cool, unique experience too. So, um yeah, but I think that's all we got for you guys for this time out. Don't forget, you catch us live every Sunday, except next Sunday, that is, on YouTube, X, Twitter, and Twitch. You can also catch us on demand on Mondays, wherever you get your podcasts, at Linktree / Eighth Inning Stretch. Don't forget to follow us at Eighth Inning Pod on X, Twitter. And for more, including our blog, Two Strike Count, and to sign up for our newsletter, head to eighth-inningpod.com. And please don't forget to support the show either using the QR code on your screen or at eighth-inningpod.com/donate. And if you're listening on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And if you're listening on one of our podcast platforms, don't forget to follow us on Eighth Inning Pod, and for more, visit eighth-inningpod.com. And help support the show at eighth-inningpod.com/donate. That's a wrap for us for this time. We will not be with you guys next Sunday, so you will catch us a week from Sunday. Oh wow, I just really next Sunday is Selection Sunday.
Oh boy.
Woof, bring on the brackets. But yeah, so we will not be with you guys next Sunday. So we will be with you a week from Sunday, which will be the 24th. Yes. In the meantime, stay tuned to our X Twitter feed and our website for upcoming details about our the new content we're working on for you guys. The weekly MLB roundup video, the baseball history documentary podcast video series, and all that fun stuff. Yeah. We'll have plenty of upcoming info as we for you guys as we work on that stuff. And other than that, yeah, that's going to be a wrap for us. Everybody have an awesome week. Have a blast next Sunday on Selection Sunday. Good luck with your filling out your brackets, and we'll catch you guys on the flip side.